Okay, welcome back, guys, to the African Stalking Sports Podcast. As you can see, today I will be hosting, or as you can hear, today I will be hosting. We're giving Big Scott a little break, and we got somebody else filling in for our banter. You've heard him on a previous episode before, Thomas Gooden, aka Gigs. He'll be filling in today for Al because Al couldn't make it. So we'll just go through a few things. Today's episode will be a little different from what we've been doing in the past. Today, what we will do is we will go ahead and talk about our love for the game of football, soccer, where depending on where you're from. We'll talk about where that started. We'll talk about memorable moments in the game that shaped our perception or our outlook on the game and us as people. And then we'll also talk about our current teams we support on a club level and on an international level. The second part of this is we'll go right back into our reviews of the EPL games from this past weekend, and we'll do your score predictions. So, without further ado, I will let our guest of honor be the first to go ahead and talk about this. So, Gigs, what's your first memory of the game, and how did your love for the game start?
Um, Maybe memory. I would say maybe 96 Olympics, Atlanta '96, and it was the finals with Nigeria and Brazil. Um, I was a Brazil fan, but of course we wanted Nigeria to take that one. So it started there for me. That finals, the Olympics, because that's when I fell in love with Ronaldo, and you know. But my real it came together at '98 World Cup when Zizou put on a show against Brazil, against my team again. So that's where it started for me.
Well, you're always on the receiving end of some kind of whooping, huh?
Yeah, I fell in love with Zizou right there, and since then, no player. Well, of course, Ronaldo, like the Brazil Ronaldo,
Oh,
is
okay.
my guy also. But Zidane is he stole everything from that day forward. It was that's where it started for me. So
Did you play a little bit growing up? Did you in a
of course,
yard and
we all
stuff? Or?
it starts with the siblings in the yard. You play free down ball, and it starts from there, and then little thing at school. You know, I wouldn't say I used to go in the field and play. That wasn't me, but in the
Oh,
yard,
basketball was your thing, huh?
yeah, I fell in love with basketball. But football is got to be the first love because that's what we grew up on. You 2, 3 years old, you start kicking ball already. So
True, true, true.
I wouldn't say I was the big field guy. I just play in the yard
I know. Well, yeah,
and
we all. Go ahead.
yeah, and my brother used to take me to Lone Star game at SKD. That's during the time when they had that street, the
Georgia 11.
the Jovia 11th Street, and yeah, I went to the Chad game, and then we
Yeah.
went to every game in that group, like, and we're just kicking everybody, but like
What
I
what
think the
year
only
was
game
that?
I missed
What
was
year
the
was that?
Nigeria game. I think.
Liberian
Yeah,
chat.
but we went to every game, and then the disappointment came when we lost to Ghana and couldn't qualify to the World Cup. I think that was my first disappointment in sports,
Wow.
like something I really felt.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
they went to party. They went they went to
yeah,
party before the game
it's that
and only
because
needed
I
a
was right
draw.
there to see that ball going past PB Bestman, and that was very heartbreaking for me. I
Nation,
saw that I was right behind the goal. So
nation.
that
Okay,
that
okay.
that was disappointing moment for me, and it grew over time. Like I said, when Zizou took over, it grew. It went to. I actually used to on the DSTV. There was a lot of United and Arsenal games. I never used to see Chelsea at all. It was always United game or Arsenal game. I only see Chelsea game when Chelsea playing United or Arsenal. That's
Because they were good. They were
But
really good back
but
then.
for some reason, God had my back because I used to watch Arsenal United a lot, but it's just never like how something just don't just catch your heart. Arsenal, trust me, they used to play. They have the football was beautiful. You know, big clubs at the time. Right now, you can't say that, but you know, I couldn't just get myself to say, okay, I'm an Arsenal fan, okay, I'm a United fan. I used to love watching them because they play beautiful football.
Hmm.
Um, until I first saw Real Madrid play, and I was like,
And that was it.
something touched me inside. Yeah, I was like, nah.
Was
When
that
I saw
Galat
Raul,
was that a
when I saw
Galacticos era?
Raul, and yeah, they came out in all white. You know, it was just something whole. It was like a holy spirit took over me, and I just became
man,
I just
the
became
man
a
going
Real
Holy
Madrid
Spirit
fan.
for
Like I
Madrid.
used
Yeah,
to,
they went religious on us.
yeah, I used to be like when Real Madrid lose, it started like getting to me. I was like, this how it is. I'm a
Squad.
real fan now. Like it really used to hurt me when they lose. And then my first full like real game was the Champions League. Of course, they were doing bad in the league. They used to, get beat up in the league, but the Champions League they was doing well. And then they won that 2001 Champions League when Zizou scored that volley, and things just started out right for me. That's how I became
Okay.
a Real Madrid fan, and the rest is history.
So
If you want,
I heard you say Brazil. You were supporting Brazil sometime in there. So how did you get on a Brazil train?
but Brazil came. Actually, Brazil came in the same 1998.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, because from the '96 Olympics,
Hmm.
I used to watch them, the young Ronaldo and all that, and then I saw them in '98. I really wanted them to win in '98, but they lost. They lost. It was a bad loss, but like I said, I fell in love with Zidane, so I was like, okay, I was young. It wasn't like, damn, we lost. I was like, I was good, but it was a loss. But Zizou stole the show, and he took my heart that day, so I didn't
Yes.
care.
Special player, special player. So we'll send it over to our resident Big Scout. So Big Scout, let's start with how your love for the game started, and then we'll trickle down
Oh
into
man,
into the other phases.
that is old labs bringing back memories. My first game, let me see, my first football memory is County Meet,
Mm.
Liberia, yeah, ATS. It must have been 1980, 85 or something like that, or 86.
85.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah, man,
old.
I'm old.
You old, you old man.
Oh.
You live your
Don't,
life, brother.
don't mind this young face. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was 85 or 86. My grand uncle took me to watch Cape Mount and either Grand Bassa or something like that. And that was my first game. And I just remember the half of the stadium had white handkerchief and they were shaking it. That's my first football memory. And then after that, he took me to see Lone Star and Ivory Coast at SKD in Liberia lost that day 1-0. I can never forget it. And we walked or come back.
Wow.
After those games, he never usually used to get taxi on from SKD. But falling in love with football, it wasn't until like in the late 80s and Lone Star almost qualified for the 1990 World Cup. I don't know if you remember Liberia beat Ghana
Hmm.
and we beat Egypt,
Egypt
we
and
beat
Malawi.
Malawi. Yeah.
Yep,
So,
I remember.
I used to live on the Fifth Street. Every time Liberia win those games, we would run from Fifth Street on the beach and come on the road and watch, we watch people coming from the stadium, like the crowds and former President Doe and everything, the team. So that's when I really started getting involved in the football. Um, from 90 after the 1990 war, I never missed a Lone Star game until I left Liberia permanently. Like in '97, I never missed any Lone Star game. Every Lone Star game, I was at the at the stadium. International football, besides Liberia and Mighty Barrow, my first first football love.
Okay.
It is 80. I think it was 88, 89 when they won when Mighty Barrow won the back-to-back championship. I mean, I never even used to watch the game. We used to listen to it on the radio.
Oh yeah.
And then yeah, and then we used to be singing the Cayenne Pepper song.
Mhm.
Uh yeah, those were my first football memories. As far as international football, the first time 1994 World Cup. I remember seeing the Nigeria versus Greece game. That was my first World Cup game I saw, and I was mesmerized by that when how Nigeria would play, And after that, I watched the Italy game. Obviously, they broke our hearts in that week, and Nigeria that didn't go forward. But those are my first two early international memories, and then it morphed into international football. Let me see, whatever team George Weah was playing for, as a Liberian,
Hey, that's everybody, man.
yeah, yeah,
I know.
That's everybody. That's
We
how,
all
that's
used
how
to
I
be
made it to
PSG
Chelsea
and Milan's fan.
today.
yeah. PSG, we started watching, go to video club to watch. And in those days, we never really used to watch the games live. We'll be watching 2-3 weeks game
And
just
still
to,
enjoy it. And
yeah, and
still
stay
enjoy
enjoy
it.
it. Because for us, we didn't know the score.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So migrating from PSG to AC Milan. Then I started supporting Madrid in the 90s. I saw the way they play, really liked the team, but I wasn't really a fervent supporter. I wasn't watching every game or anything like that. It
Around
wasn't,
what? Around 96 when they went to the finals with
no, no,
Juve?
no, 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 no. No, that was 98.
That was 98.
98,
98.
98,
Yeah,
98,
that was
96.
around there just before then I became a fan, because we had moved to Ivory Coast and I could see the games regularly now.
Oh, yeah.
Every Champions League game was on TV. So I started watching the game. I fell in love with Madrid. Then I escaped from football a little bit until around 2002. I started watching. They didn't really become an Arsenal fan until 95. Not 95, but
2005.
2005. So Arsenal.
After the Invincible season, right?
Yeah, I didn't even watch football that season. Surprisingly, I never saw most of that season. It was after the fact that I saw that. The first Arsenal game I saw that wasn't the first Arsenal game, but the first Arsenal game I decided this is the team I would support was Arsenal versus Everton. It was on May 11, 2005. I saw Arsenal dismantle Everton, and the kind of football they were playing at that time, with the Wenger ball, the beauty I saw. I say, yeah, this, the football spoke to me. So
You had no idea what you were getting into, huh?
no, I had no idea it was so
Yeah.
light.
You came on you came on the tail end when the glory stopped for a little bit.
Yeah, it was fading. I must admit, from 2005, 2006, it started fading like that team. But that's how I started, and I just stuck with Arsenal. But I still support Madrid. I'm not like geeks and Drenko them. When Madrid lose, I still feel bad, but it doesn't pain me. No, life goes on, boy. Arsenal loses. It's
That's honest. That's honest.
Yeah, Arsenal loses in my heart. But
all right. That's good. So
what about you? Where
me? Hey man, I'm the moderator here. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a break today, so relax. Well, with me, we had a pretty big yard, so everybody in the yard will come to our yard to play free time ball, or if you wherever else you're from, they call it small post with no goalie. It'll be 3-on-3. And I started from a young age. It didn't even matter. At that time we used to play for fun. Never cared about what you were doing, if you were dribbling, if you were out. I started off as a defender. And then later on, as I started progressing in the game, that's when I migrated to the midfield. I started off as a defender. All I wanted to do was just slide tackle people. When I get the ball, I just boom it. I didn't care. And it was always, our team was always said it was me, Poema, and one of our other guys called Alston. People rarely beat us. And it was about, let's say, 10 teams waiting for next. So if by 10 minutes, if nobody wins, you got to go to penalties. And it'll be penalties with like a full-blown goalie. You got to go to penalties for the next team to come up. Because everybody's trying to play. So that's how we started playing, playing free time ball and, going about that. And then it led from that to going to IE and borrow games with my parents. I was born and bred IE. My dad, my uncles, everybody was IE fans. So it was like, and the weird thing is my favorite player on that team wasn't even like my name, wasn't even George Weah. It was Simeon Mata. That's what I used to like, because I was a defender, and every time I used to see him do that double leg wide slide, I was like, man, that dude is really, really good. So that's how I started like looking at the game, and growing the game. Now, I mean, and that was like the late 80s. But when I actually could like fully appreciate ball was the 1994 World Cup, because that was on the end of Nigeria winning the African Cup of Nations and then going to the World Cup with that same team, that was stacked with Rashidi Yakini, Amakachi, Finidi George, all those guys. Something Siasia.
Yeah, yeah.
And the game that that really got to me was when they played Argentina. When Diego came back and all drugged up, man, those guys were kicking him, like playing all kind of fouls. The dude just kept bouncing back up, bouncing back up. Nigeria scored first. It was a beautiful goal. Something Siasia cut the ball in, chipped it over the goalie. Everybody was hype. I was like, oh yeah, we got. I mean, we always knew that Argentina was a powerhouse, but we're like, oh, we got this. Next thing you know, man, Claudio Canigia came in and just spoiled the party. That dude was a thorn in our flesh, man. He scored like two beautiful goals, but you know, that was my first disappointment. I mean, Liberia wasn't there, so we had to get behind the next African team.
Yeah.
And then fast forward to South Africa '96. That was the first time Liberia qualified for the African Cup of Nations.
Yeah, I remember
So
that.
yeah, so we were hyped. The first game against Gabon, my mom told the teacher, give the teacher some kind of excuse for me to go watch the game on 9th Street. So, went there, we won that game. They got the first penalty that Kevin scored that penalty. We won the game 2-1. And then it all went downhill from there. I was like, and then I didn't have Nigeria because that was my first real introduction when I started understanding the game. So I didn't have Nigeria to bank on because remember they had some conflict or misunderstanding
Yeah,
with
I
Sonny
remember
Abacha,
that.
and they
Yeah,
had
it's
to
a
withdraw from
political
the
thing.
tournament. So it was kind of
Yeah, yeah.
crazy.
So
But
it
then
was
I
only
formed
three teams were in
yeah,
the
it was only
group.
three teams, and we
Okay,
couldn't
yeah.
qualify from that group. It was weird, man. So I kept on watching the tournament, and then I found myself like latching on to South Africa. South Africa, they weren't known as a soccer nation before then, but the football they played in that tournament, that was some of the most beautiful thing I've seen, man. Because man, and that's when I started like drifting away from defense and started trying to play midfield because of how Mark Fish
Yeah,
was a defender
yeah,
that
yeah.
never wanted to play defense. The dude would like overlap and like bomb down to the opponent's box. And every time he did that, Eric Tinkler, I don't know if you guys remember him, but Eric Tinkler was another
I
Yeah,
remember
I
tall.
that
remember.
whole
I remember
thing.
Tinkler.
I love that dude game, man. That was one of my favorite midfielders. Every time he does that, Eric Tinkler would drop down, kind of like how Conte does. Eric Tinkler would drop down and then play the ball to Kumalo, and Kumalo would just like cut you through with like these decisive passes, man. And they had what's the guy named Philma Masinga? God rest his soul. He passed away now. Masinga and John Shu Mashu. Those dudes
Yeah,
are up there
yeah.
like putting the goals in, man. And they play like beautiful football. I mean, the system was so nice. That's how I started like
Bafana.
yeah, that's how I started following them. And then it went on to win the whole thing. Who would have thought they went on to win the whole thing? But that was like when I started like actually changing my views. I was like, okay, I want to play a little bit of midfield. I want to control the ball. I want to, do a little bit of different things just because of Eric Tinkler and how he played football. Because I mean, at the time, like Liberia was out, so we were sad. I was like, let me latch onto something else just to keep my interest up in the tournament. Now for international team and club team, as you know, yeah, Chelsea, as you can see, I got there with George Weah. He went from Monaco to PSG to AC Milan, and then at the tail end of his career, he came to Chelsea on loan. And at that time, just for the clear fact that Arsenal, Man U, and Liverpool were red, I hated them, and they were good. I hated them. I was like, these guys are too good. I used to root against them. They would be playing like they'll be playing like Blackburn, and I'll be rooting for Blackburn. They'll be playing like Ipswich Town. I'll be rooting for Ipswich Town. They didn't like them at all. So when George Weah came to Chelsea, I was like, oh yeah, now this is good because we're in Ghana, so all we could get was EPL. We would see Serie A highlights, League On highlights, but all we could get was EPL. So that EPL was booming. So I was like, okay, I would stick with
Oh, my flag fell down.
I would stick with Chelsea. Yeah, take that flag down. I was like, I'll stick with
My
Chelsea.
flag is coming back.
That's how I stuck with them. And on that team, even though he came and he left, but on that team, as I said, going with the midfield team, I used to love Gus Pouyet and Roberto Di Matteo because they were like two different styles of midfield. Di Matteo brought out Italian flair, but he was also combative, and Gus Pouyet was just like breaking down everything and scoring all these great goals, man. So that's how I started like growing from there. And then went to a pretty dry spell, I can say, like a pretty dry spell. A lot wasn't won, but as God still made it, our boss Abramovich came in, bought the team, and started like putting like bringing players in and started winning stuff. But international team,
you always talk about this the Zola era. Like,
yeah, man,
what happened during that time?
not much. We won a Cup Winners' Cup in Europe. We won, we won another FA Cup, but it wasn't what we're like underdogs at that time. We're like a mid table, like around sixth place, fifth place. We're hovering, always hovering around there. But we used to give the big teams hard time. I mean, we won in Europe. We won a couple of local domestic cups, but it's not flowing how it's flowing now. So but that team was like it was a team that was close to your heart because it was all like underdogs, older guys. We had a lot of older Italian players like Vialli, who went on to be a manager. We had Zola. Then the guys left the Serie A and they came there. Even Rugula came there to play from Holland. And then on the line of an international team, my team is Germany, and the way I got to Germany is a crazy, not crazy story, but my cousin and my soccer mentor, a guy who basically used to show me how to play soccer. His name was Weber. His name is Weber. Now was his name was Weber. He used to love England. Like this dude would talk about Gary Lineker. He would talk about Alan Shearer. He would talk about Paul Gascoigne. He would talk about Teddy Sheringham. I mean, he talked about England so much that I actually started like hating him. I was like, man, you talk about his team too much.
It
So
sucked.
when I went to Ghana and I walked right into Euro '96, and England was playing semifinal. England was playing Germany, and Andreas Kupke went and saved Southgate penalty. I was like, oh, okay. I kept on messing with him. I was like, oh, I found my new team. The people who beat England and kicked England out of the tournament. I just how I stuck with Germany. And then the rest is history from that point. So, interesting stories. It grows and it grows and it grows, but we all love our teams for different reasons. So that concludes the first portion of this. We'll take a short break. And on the other end of this side, we'll go ahead and review the games. And we'll also go ahead and go through predictions for you guys. All right, welcome back to the second phase of this week's episode of the Africans Talking Sports podcast. So now we're getting to the game review from last week. So we'll do it a little different this time. Before we review the games, we'll just go through the predictions we did last week. That way we can have it all merged together to make it a little bit easier instead of it being separate sections. So
Yeah.
the first game we'll start with today is the Chelsea versus Sheffield United game. And for that game, it's the way we went about the score predictions was I predicted 3-0. Al predicted 3-1, and Big Sky predicted 2-1. So we all were pretty much on with the predictions for those. So Big Sky, give us your review on the Chelsea game.
Yeah, he's gonna pay me to do this one, but let
That's
me
why
get.
that's why I give it to you.
Yeah, no, I didn't know. I didn't think Chelsea was gonna click this early, but it looks like you guys are doing some good things there. I was looking at the last 3 or 4 games Chelsea's played. They scored 14 goals and conceded just one. And I saw that stat. I was kind of painful to watch, but but the game started. It started really lively. Sheffield United, they came to play. Margot, what's his name?
My Goldrich.
Goldrich fooled me.
Yeah.
They did a really tricky corner. They came with the tricks, and he did his back flick. They kind of show up for the first few minutes, but Chelsea had just way too much quality for them. I'll tell you the things I like that I saw that was encouraging, at least from you guys' point of view, or that was scary to watch. I From the very beginning, I thought Ziyech was going to put the best of all the players Chelsea bought. And on Saturday, he proved it as far as I'm concerned. Everything was down to his delivery. It was just precision. No matter who was there on each of those balls, like the Chilwell goal, Ben Chilwell goal, Chilwell didn't score that goal. I think the goal scored Chilwell. Yeah.
The ball bounced off him and went into the net.
Yeah, and every ball he delivered was it was just very precise. It had good pace. It was in the right area it should have been. The transition game was good. It was just a good game to see. And Tammy Abraham started. This was one of the few games he started so far. He took his opportunity. I thought the defense left, gave him a little too much space. But what was good to see that I'm seeing from Chelsea that I'm not seeing from my own team is, you see the speed in transition. You see players are rotating and they know what they're supposed to do. I wrote a couple of things here: precision, pace, and interchange of players. That's something that they're doing pretty good. So it was encouraging to see from their point of view. And if within 2 years time or 18 months time, if they continue on that trajectory, it can get scary. But it was a good game. Even the old man from PSG was in there.
Tiago.
Yeah, Thiago Silva was beautiful goal from Thiago. But I'll wrap everything up to say it was all down to, I was just really surprised how well and how quickly Ziyech has adapted. Uh, Timo looked good too. He looks like he's a real goal scorer. If he's 6 months, 8 months into the league, he can do some harm. But just down to the quality of players you guys got, man. And Lampard looks like, at least for the, I think the big team so far, he hasn't gotten that down yet. But for those people that he's supposed to beat, he's beating and dispatching them very quickly. And that's encouraging to see from a Chelsea point of view. And from us, I'm not so happy about that, but what can you do?
So, Gigs, you got anything to add on this?
Chelsea.
Yeah, on the game.
I mean, we talked about Lampard the other day. I think he's the reason everything coming where it's supposed to be, because from the beginning things weren't clicking and we started panicking. Especially Aldrin. We started. Now he's over there apologizing to Lampard and all that. But it's patience. Patience. You see Liverpool today. Liverpool, that's how they used to be. And then patience. They had now they won. I think they won 6, 7 trophies in the last 2, 3 years. It's patience. So Lamps, I'm sure I think he came in first, and he didn't have an identity, like, he was coached by Mourinho. He was coached by so he tried to take a little bit from everybody that coached him and try to piece it together. No, he now I think he's his own man. So things coming together because he's seeing things his own way. It's not what he learned from other coaches, but how he sees the game, how he studied the game and all that. So everything is coming into play, and they look good. The football's flowing. The goals are there. 3, 4 goals a game. That's very impressive. And the consistency, which is very important, because Chelsea will go 2 games, look good, look like, and then the next 3 games, it's like, who are these guys? But now it's like they're consistent with it. So
Yeah, that motivational issue was always our undoing. We'll go a few games, play well, and then the next couple of games, we're always like frantic. Like when people score, we just like lose our heads and just like start letting goals, man. But
right.
It's going.
And
it's
big
going.
big up to Thiago Silva too. I think he has a lot to do with
Oh
the
yeah,
cohesion of the dudes on that team. I think he has a lot to do with it. So shout out to him. And but most importantly, shout out to Lamps, because if we criticize Lamps when it's not clicking, it's clicking. So we got to give it up to him. Shout out to Lamps.
yeah. All right. So the next game we're moving on to is the Everton versus Manchester United game. That game, I predicted Man U was going to win 2-0. I predicted Everton was going to win 2-1 because he wanted to stick it to Bournemouth, but some reason. Big Scott predicted that Man U was going to win 2-0. So so and the game ended in 3-1. So Gigs, what's your take on that game?
The coach is still the coach. He's guessing. It's like me playing FIFA. Like he's he actually he's guessing because his team he trying every team, every game he tries something new. Every game he put this player here, put that player there, and he tried this other player, and he can't seem to find his team. For me, he's not a good coach because how he been 2-3 years at United, and
Oh man, it's like 18 months.
it's like up and down, and for some reason, every time we like, oh, he's gone, he's back, and then they'll beat a good team like 3 or 4 goals. Every time you think, oh yeah, they're gonna fire him.
Oh, they can score. They can score. They can score fast too.
And then they come and they just win a game and then O's like, okay, I got that security back, and then he'll go for the next 2, get a win, and then go for the next 4 and loses, and it's just inconsistency. It's no more like the players. The club Manchester United, when you put that shirt on, you're supposed to represent the history of that club, but now the players wear that shirt, and it's just like it's like they're playing for Wigan or Norwich or something, because the passion is not there. It's gone. And O's, I don't know what he's doing. He gets in too much. He doesn't know what to do. He's just there. And I think he's favored by the owners, I think. So that's why he still got that job. So you can't say it's players. The players are there. I mean, of course, Maguire and Lindelof, it's like they don't know where to be at sometimes, but he got the players. So I think he needs to go. But who's out there? And I don't know.
Like everybody calling for Pochettino now. So
and I don't know if I should say anything about Everton, but I mean they clicking now. At first we thought Everton, they're about to be like Leicester City and win the EPL that year, but no, Everton. Like Arsenal be at the top of the table when the first few weeks, like they Arsenal. Huh?
Oh yeah. Man, it was good. So, it was good.
I mean, they Everton. You got Ancelotti, he wants to be friends with the players, so he doesn't hold that accountable for anything. He used to do it when he was coaching Madrid. He want to sit around, eat with them, laugh with them, crack jokes, but when they're messing up, how do you switch from that friendly guy to the coach?
They've been doing good though. I mean, the last couple of games.
No, I'm just saying what I know of Ancelotti, how he.
Oh, okay.
He's a very kind and cool and soft guy. He's not he's not Mourinho who will bench you because
players love him though. His players like absolutely adore him.
Yeah, he's lovable. He's lovable, but when it comes to business, how do you switch that off? How do you like, hey, it's time for business. Those the lovey-dovey out the door. We gotta go. But
true.
I mean, that's him.
But Ancelotti is won in several places, though. I mean,
true.
Oh yeah, he's a great coach. He's a great coach.
Yeah, I mean, he's won the league in several places. I don't know. I don't know if Everton. I knew they were going to come down.
You've been saying that though. You've been saying that for a while.
Yeah, I knew they would come down. Everton always buy, contrary to popular belief, they do always, at least for the last 6-7 years, they always buy a lot of players in the summer, and then they would start good, and then they would dip. But James Rodriguez didn't look fit in this game. He played like 66 minutes. He didn't look fit to me. Dokori he's not doing the same thing he was doing week 1. He seemed out of position. They weren't cohesive. I'll go back. I disagree with Geeks on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I don't think he's doing any worse than any of the coaches that have been there since Sir Alex Ferguson left. Mourinho was there. The old man from the crazy
Louis van Gaal.
Louis van Gaal was there.
Moisey was there too.
Everybody that's come that have been there since Sir Alex left, they haven't been able to elevate them to the level that United believe they should be in. But I don't know what they were thinking when they put Ole Gunnar Solskjaer there. They wanted a young visionary who would change the kind of football and for long term. How long has he been there? 18 months?
I think it's been longer than that.
I think longer than that. I'm thinking 2.5.
I think it's been a full because you counting him like how you counting Arteta. Arteta came in halfway through last season. I think Ole was there for the whole season last season.
Teta came last.
Yeah, Ole there for the whole season.
Yeah. And he came the season before that, in the middle of the season when they got rid of Jose. He came as temporary manager. I think they should give him some more time. The United people don't want to
Oh,
hear
you want
that.
to gain time so you can be
No,
enjoying it.
no,
That
no, no. I think whoever they bring is going because if you bring somebody now, they'll have to start all over. Anybody you bring in, you got to give them at least 18 months to prove themselves.
they got to implement their
They
way
got,
of playing too. So it
yeah,
will take
and
time.
they got to bring their players. So you're going to set them back again. So whatever their strategy was, I don't think they really supported him this transfer window. He got some good players, but I mean, if you want to be competing for the league, buy the players, get the men the right tools.
Juventus trying to offload Ronaldo. I think he can help him out.
I don't think Ronaldo trying to come there, to be honest. Whenever you hear Ronaldo talking about places, he never mentions United. I don't know. Maybe have you heard him mention United?
Yeah, a
That
couple
he
of
wants
times.
to come back there to play.
Yeah, he said one day he can go back. That's his home. I mean, his second home, of course. And he love it there. The fans love him, and he always say that every time he's asked about that, he says that.
So. I think he just don't want to alienate them. Maybe when he's 50, you'll come back, but I don't know. Ronaldo wants to win.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the next game. The next game was Crystal Palace versus Leeds. Now, now this one last week, you went and said you were like, well, what are you guys seeing Leeds? Are you giving them all this hope? Oh, it wasn't what we see in Leeds. It was what we saw in Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace has not been performing well. They've been playing below their level. They haven't been really into games. And Leeds been playing, the rock and roll football, heavily attacking and going crazy on people. But so let me go through the score prediction first, and then we can get into the game. So the score prediction, I took Leeds to win 2-1. I took Leeds to win 3-1, and Big Scout picked Crystal Palace to win 1-0, which was the right prediction at the end of the day. So that game, I was watching the game. Leeds can decide what they want to do on a given day. They can decide that today we're going to defend, or today we're going to attack, or today we're going to play a complete game. That's how they play. That's how they play the game.
That's true, and they're consistent with it the whole game, no matter what happens.
Yeah, like, this game, they came in to attack and not defend at all. I don't know what the goalie was on, but he was on something. The first goal, you can't blame him for that. That was a nice header. He was kind of in the goal when he tried to save the ball, so you couldn't blame him for that. The free kick from Eze was like class. But Eze been scoring those in the championship even before Crystal Palace got him. He had like 4 or 5 of those like last year. And then the own goal, I was like, okay, bro, like you can't kill your team like this. The ball hit the guy from outside the box, outside the 18 in the corner. Goalie wasn't even looking at the play. He was looking at the strikers coming from the top of the box, coming into his 6-yard box. Ball went right by him. That just killed off all the momentum. And then they scored the last goal that Ayo scored. Ayo was basically camping in the box, like, and they were pointing hands to each other, like, what's going on? Patrick Bamford, man, he scores goals, but he misses just as much as he scores. He had a good goal, like a good goal in that game. He had like a good goal. Took off his chest and like placed it in the far corner. It was a good goal, but he also missed a few in that game. But the game, all they were doing was chasing. Palace just kept getting the goals, getting behind him. Palace played really well. They played really well. How long they can keep that up is yet to see. We'll see how it goes.
Palace?
Yeah, I would say it's yet to see. Palace usually play the bigger guys harder than they play the little guys. So that's why we're basing. That's why I was basing my prediction off. I know one person that's not happy. We ain't yelling Bamford in a long time. Is the big homie that say I ain't talking about Leeds anymore. He just say, oh yeah, my boys. He acting like Leeds don't exist. Even when geeks were telling him like, oh, today's a bad day for Leeds. The man straight Ray Charles, he acted like they didn't even see the text in the group chat.
I try to join at least, but I can't do it, man. I can't do it.
Don't join that man. That man always finds a new team. He always finds a new team to follow. You don't have to go. You don't have to follow him everywhere he goes.
Gigs not good for that kind of pain.
But yeah, so that's what happened with that Leeds game. Any of you guys got anything to add to the Leeds game? I mean,
yeah, I saw it. I actually enjoyed the game. Crystal Palace is never going to be in. They're always going to be in a top 10, maybe middle of the table. They're going to lose They're gonna lose 1, 2 games, and the next 1, 2 game they win it. They always like that.
Yeah.
They have a decent coach, I think, but for their budget, they got some decent players in there. When Zaha and Ayu and those guys decide to play. What's the number 10? The guy that used to be Townsend. They got some good players. Some days they show up, some days they don't. It was a good game. I don't think the score line 4-1 was
Indicative of the actual game.
yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't a 4-1 game. But these two, you know, they like to play the yo-yo game. It's beautiful to watch. I must say, it's really, really good thing to
But
watch.
is it sustainable over the season?
No, no.
Right.
But that's how they play in the championship, because in the championship, they were the top dogs there. But you can't bring that in the EPL where everybody got quality. If
Exactly.
you attack any team in the EPL like Arsenal found out this week, if you just go recklessly and attack people and you don't have good stuff sitting in the back, they're gonna count because they got quality to hurt you, and that's what happened to them. That's about it. I got to say about that.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
For me, I just the coach Bielsa or Bielsa, what's it called? I want to see, like, he's highly rated. I don't know why, but he's like Zizou, Pep. They all talk about him. They all go to him for lessons, advice, and stuff. I just want to see him live up to the hype they put behind him. We can say you don't have the players, but I just want to see him do something with Leeds because he's highly rated. I would love to see him at United.
Why?
Oh, that's an interesting.
Because I looked him up the other day and I didn't really see him coaching like a big team with the players that would play the football he want to play. And United, I mean, most big teams got those players, but I think United right now with the struggles,
The way Bielsa coaches though, he can't coach the big teams with those players. He can only coach young teams. Ain't no big players gonna be running 90 minutes like that. Like that's not happening.
I was just about to say Rashford and Martial and them, they like running. So,
Yeah, but his running is like running up and down. It's like from offense to defense, from offense to defense. That's for young players. A lot of big teams will be like, oh, this coach is crazy. We're not doing this stuff.
Yeah,
remember to let me add an NFL example in here. When Chip Kelly came to the Eagles, that's how he started playing like Bielsa. He coaches like Bielsa. It was like everything was at warp speed. He would like go on offense. I mean, the play clock wouldn't even go nowhere, and we snapped the ball. I mean, we're scoring, we're getting people tired, but the defense was getting tired too. That stuff lasted for like a season, and then it was like, it was like players started complaining about him, and people can't. And as many games as they have in the EPL and the cup games and the games coming like every 3 days, you can't sustain that. You got to recover. So
I remember that.
That's not happening. Exactly. So let's move on to the next game, the Man City and Liverpool game. So this game, I correctly called a 1-1 tie. I said it was going to be boring, but it wasn't boring. It was a good game. It was a good game. It was a really good game. Both teams lived up to the competition. Al and Big Scout called 2-1 for Man City. It was going to be 2-1, but uncharacteristically, De Bruyne missed a penalty. He rarely misses. So I mean, it happens sometimes. But Big Scout, give us some insight into this game.
Well, Liverpool Joseph Matip for the first time in a while. He was playing as a central defender, and Man City had Jesus coming back. I think he was in the first game of the season. Since then, he's been missing with injury. He came back. He looked fit. It was a really good game, back and forth. I thought City should have won. They had so many given chances, but they never took their chances. First thing first, Liverpool fouled, what's his name, Sterling.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some crisscrossing with the defenders. Not Liverpool or Man City. Man City still, the defenders still they're not cohesive yet. They got these guys, they're mixing every week, and they got that new guy in there that they brought from Portugal. They crisscrossed Sterling, and what's his name, took the penalty.
De
And
Bruyne.
then De Bruyne took the penalty and missed. But before that, what's his name? Salah scored from a Mane's from a Mane's pass. So that was the first penalty.
Mane, I'm not cutting you off, Jared, but Mane need I don't know if he practices that stuff at home, but Mane is like so good at drawing penalties and fouls in like he's so good at drawing fouls in like crazy positions. It's like you like low breeze on him. I mean, he draws contact,
His
but
movement.
sometimes that contact he can get through it, but he's really good at doing that.
His movement he's one of those players that is very hard to mark because he's very nimble on his feet. You know, when he's in that box, the way he's moving, you know, he moves a lot. So anytime you touch him a little bit, he doesn't even have to act. You're gonna anybody
He
contact.
he acts sometimes. He acts sometimes,
but he doesn't need to. Even when he does, as soon as you touch him, he fall. And Salah is always there to dispatch it. It was a good game, back and forth, back and forth. I thought City had a little bit of an edge in the second half. Jesus had a one-on-one. He should have scored with, but with his header, he didn't. He first before I get there, Jesus goal. I don't know if anyone of you guys saw.
I was about to ask about that. I was about to say, did you think he meant to do that?
No, he didn't.
No.
He was just
wait. So if you think he didn't mean to do that,
yeah,
it's kind of similar to what Dennis Bergkamp did.
No, it's not the same thing. I was thinking that's exactly what I thought. I thought the same thing.
I think Bergkamp meant his, but Jesus, no.
Jesus didn't mean his.
Bergkamp hit that ball with his left foot. I mean, the stuff defied the law of physics. He hit that ball with his left foot, and the ball wrapped around the dude.
But he turned around to meet the ball. So that's
the thing. Jesus did the same thing. Jesus hit the ball in and wrapped his head and turned around. He wasn't looking for the ball around him.
No, Jesus was fast enough. He was fast enough. He was just quick. He was quick enough to know where the ball was going. And it kind of like bounced off his foot and got there. I mean, it was a slight.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly the conclusion I drew. That was like, man, this reminds me of the Dennis Bergkamp goal a little bit.
Yeah.
He was there and he just pushed. It was a beautiful goal anyway, whether he meant it or not. I don't think he did. Second half, he missed a one-on-one. Another interesting thing that happened in this game is Liverpool lost.
Joe Gomez.
Yeah, no, they lost Alexander in this game. Joe Gomez had a surgery from the England practice.
Yeah.
So Liverpool losing defenders every week now. They lost Joe Gomez. They've lost
Trent
Alexander. Alexander. And now they lost Van Dijk.
That's my guy.
That's their three.
You know what I was saying about that? Yeah, I wasn't trying to pick on him. I like TAA game. I really love his game because he's like
that's my guy.
He's potent. Right, but his defense is suspect. Let's be honest.
Really?
His defense is suspect. Yeah.
Oh, he's a wing. He
have you paid attention to him? His defense is suspect. He's like a better a more expensive or more high class Marcos Alonso. It's not as bad.
No,
it's not as bad. That's why I said. That's why I said.
I disagree with that.
No, listen.
He's solid, man.
That's why I said a high class. He can do some defense. But his defense is suspect a little bit. Okay, that's what I'm saying. I love his game.
I think when he stays back to defend, he does it, but he's almost always abandons his position because he's always high up. So
I mean, it's coaching. It's coaching. If you watch Liverpool games when they're playing teams that got like good wingers, like real top of the line wingers, Klopp does not play him. Klopp always puts Gomez on that side. He did it all last season. He did a little bit this season. Yeah, I said it was something I noticed. I just left it at that. I was like, okay. I mean, his game is good. He's still young. He can develop that defense and stuff. He's still young. So I mean, I would get that. He's a top of the line. He's a top of the line. Right back.
I would take him if I had a chance. I'd take him.
He's such a good footballer. Maybe he's gonna morph into a attacker altogether. Maybe he's going
to kind of be like David Alaba. Yeah. And play where they can play both offense and defense, and he can play midfield and defense. But that's how those kids come up in the academy now. And they play all over, so they can slot in anywhere.
So what's going to happen to Liverpool with three of the first choice full defenders missing? We got to watch and see what happens.
Hey, I was telling you guys. I said fatigue was setting with Liverpool, and fatigue can lead to injuries too. Fatigue can lead to injuries. I mean, even though some of those injuries are like, like the Van Dijk injury was not based on fatigue; it was just based on a bang bang,
Mm.
unfortunate
Right.
thing. Joe Gomez, it can be attributed to fatigue because they've been going, and then he got something in training. So it would be tough for them. But I said it's hard to keep up those levels. It's very hard to keep up those levels.
That's true,
But
man. Like,
yeah, let's move on to I will leave this game for the last one. Let's talk about let me run through some of the scores and then we'll talk about the West Brom and Tottenham game. Um
did we
um
talk about Arsenal and
as that we'll
That's gonna
review
be the
that.
last
We'll
game.
review that last. I know you can't wait. You're licking your chops.
Yeah.
But
not really? I mean,
Brighton played Burnley. That was a dull 0-0 game. Southampton played Newcastle. It was a good game. Southampton won 2-0. Shea Adams had a beautiful volley goal. West Ham beat Fulham like in the waning minutes of the game. Suchek scored from a pass from Benrahma. Leicester won their game against Wolves. Vardy penalty, dispatched it. Pretty good. So Tottenham and West Brom played, and the game was. I mean, I was surprised that Tottenham really didn't show up. They did some things, but they didn't really show up. West Brom defended, and the goalie. I don't know what he ate
Yeah.
at halftime. You heard me going crazy about it when it scored. But
Yeah,
I was like, where is he go? Where is he
I,
going?
I saw the highlight.
He decided to come, and then he stopped, and then he went again and got caught up in no man's land.
Mm.
And then you can't mess around with these kind of lethal top strikers, man. You can't do that. You can't do that. So Kane just had the ball over him. Game set match. That game was over. It wasn't much more to talk about in that game. So I mean, if you guys want anything to put on there, we can move to them. We can move to the Arsenal game. I know that's
Yeah,
where
I
you.
got one thing to say
Okay,
before
go
the
ahead. Go
Arsenal
ahead.
game. I think they go goalie sold that game.
I'm telling
I
you, that's
think
that's how it looked.
I think he
That's how
sold
it
it.
looked.
Yeah, if that was like one of those games in Liberia, in Africa, people would say, yeah, he definitely. It looked like he sold it because he took a step forward when he saw the ball coming, put his hands up, but they didn't really make an attempt to go for the ball. Kind of the ball went through his hand, was almost like caught in between
They
what he
had it
should.
over him. It
Yeah,
was
he was
I
just
guess,
ridiculous.
I
going.
guess, I guess Leno's selling all your games, huh?
Oh wow.
Let's get to that next.
All right. So
Don't rush.
The Arsenal game. Oh, I didn't go over the Tottenham score. Tottenham score. We were all going like calling high school for Tottenham. I called 4-1 for Tottenham. I'll call 3-0, and Pablo called 3-1 for Tottenham. But I mean, it still got the 3 points. 3 points
You
is
gotta
three.
stick with Big Scout here, man. The people don't know Pablo.
3 points is 3 points. Sorry, Big Scout. Okay, Arsenal game. I predicted Arsenal going to win 1-0. I predicted 2-0. Big
You are
Sky
drinking?
Big Sky. I predicted 1-0. I mean 1-0. You can beat Villa 1-0, dude. And then Big Sky predicted 2-1. Villa came out of nowhere and punished Arsenal. They gave them the diet Liverpool treatment.
Mm.
3 goals, and it wasn't like chance goals. It was like good goals too.
No.
But I hand this over to Giggs. I know you've been relishing this opportunity, so have at it.
The
Not
only
really,
thing,
man.
the only thing we say is stick to this game. Don't bring your whole Arsenal history here.
No. I mean, it's not. You want to talk about Arsenal today? You don't have to go to Villa. You just Arsenal is, like I saw the highlights. I didn't watch the game. I saw the highlights, and Ross Barkley looked like Ronaldinho. I don't know how. He was just all over the place, giving passes, and Arsenal was. Why you're playing 3 in the back in the first place? Like,
That's been the issue for the whole season.
I'll wait for you for your analysis before I respond. Go ahead.
Yeah, like y'all.
This is your chance,
coach,
man. This is your chance.
No,
You
no,
won't
I'm
get
not.
this anytime soon.
No. This I'm not here. I'm not. I'm not here to like, step on Arsenal because they don't even want to talk about themselves. Like,
Oh
you
wow.
see, you think I'm busy tonight? I'm not busy. He's somewhere sitting there just like, nah, I'm not gonna go over there and go talk about what Arsenal do. He's not busy doing nothing. He don't want to talk about the game
Wow.
because the
Attack
team
on Albante.
the team got Mikel, and everybody thought, oh yeah, we got Mikel. He's on the pep, and he knows. But Mikel he's just like social. Like it's like he doesn't know what he's doing too. And then you can't blame him because it comes from up top. I don't think the people up top want to win. They don't care. They just what the money they get from the team, and that's all they care about. They're not worried. Like, they're dropping mascot. They're dropping laying workers off. It's the money. It's not. This Jerry are worrying about winning. The people who got Arsenal, they're not worrying about winning. They don't want to win. And then you go to the players. Oh, it's like they don't even want. They don't care. Like like I said, made more one-on-one than I did when I was playing indoors.
Oh, Jesus. This
You
man
know?
say
Let's not go
he say he
there.
ain't come to stump, but he's like stomping. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Not from what I heard.
Like I said, missed more one-on-one than I did when we were playing indoor football. And the team, the only person I see on that team, well, I like Aubameyang. He's committed. He wants to win. He plays, he plays hard, but he can't do it alone. And then the other kid, Saka, what's his name?
Yeah,
Bukayo
Saka.
Saka. Bukayo Saka.
He's very good too. The defense is all holding, and now you can't beat Arsenal. You say you're a big team, but I say they're a big team. I don't know why he always says that. And then you buy in William and David Lewis. How you trying to rebuild and you buying William and David Lewis?
Yeah,
Hey, man,
on that point, I agree. You were
Okay.
supposed to be analyzing this game, but the man is going a lot. So I knew he was going to be analyzing Arsenal for the last 10 years, and not the actual game.
It's just this season. It's just a season.
No, but the game, you watch the game and it tells you all you need to know about Arsenal the last couple of years. That's what they've been on. They come and win your one community shield, one FA Cup here and there, and y'all run around the streets, and it goes right back to y'all being trash. Y'all been in Europa League for how long? Y'all Arsenal,
It's
right?
the third or fourth years now. Yeah.
Y'all been. It's I don't know what to say. I go at Arsenal because it's easy. Like that's easy work. It's
I
nothing.
know. I know.
Arsenal,
Oh, man.
Arsenal and Manchester United, I wish they can get relegated and just go get their act together before they come back up.
This man talking rubbish, trash. He talking some trash here tonight. Let me get back to the game because you are analyzing Arsenal from the last 4-5 years, and I think most of what you say is fair. But let me stick to the game.
Yeah, I mean you can stick to the game.
Let me bring it back to the game. I think you're right. Arsenal at home against Aston Villa shouldn't be playing three central defenders. But Mikel Arteta he's an inexperienced manager, and he's not Pep. He has a brilliant football mind by all measures and by everybody in football that's talked to him. And you can tell when he plays the big team, he knows what to do. He knows how to implement. He hasn't figured out what he's going to do when he plays smaller and teams that are his equals. He hasn't figured that out. And for every new manager, if you get a new job, your manager, you make mistakes. And these are the kind of mistakes you pay for. When you're a new manager, you're going to up and down. As long as the trajectory is generally trending upward, I'm fine with it.
Is it trending upwards? Is it trending upwards though?
I think at the end of the season, we will judge him on that. This is his first season. He came last year. He came, He came. Yeah.
Before you go, speaking of managers, why you hate at Emery and now you want to give Arteta the chance? Like
Emery was there for at least 18 months, and I didn't see the team. I didn't see anything in his football philosophy that told me that anything was going to change. Mikel Arteta, I can tell what he's trying to do, and I'm giving him a longer period of time. He came last December. If you take away the COVID period, if you take away the summer off season, he's really only been there for, if you put everything together, I would say 6 months. In that 6 months, Arsenal were terrible at playing the big games. He kind of figured that out. He hasn't figured out how he wants his team to play. When I saw Chelsea play, I saw pace, I saw precision, I saw interchange of players. He doesn't know how to do that with his team, especially when it's smaller games. He hasn't figured that out. He's still very defensive and cautious. So he sticks he has a very rigid attitude about him. And in life, not just in football, if you don't take risk, you're never going to be successful. And he hasn't learned how to let go. And when he was very afraid of Villa, maybe rightly so. So
Why
he
though?
checked. I don't understand because he saw what they did to Liverpool, and
What it
rightly
did to
so.
Liverpool?
But after
To
Liverpool
put
game, they play other
Hey,
teams, and
but
they look like Villa.
I know as a new manager, he came in. He didn't. That particular game was, it just shows that he needs to rethink his philosophy on what he wants to do. He doesn't seem to be sure. You shouldn't be playing really three central defenders. But even if you do, and it's not working, you can change it in the middle of the game. You can, at halftime, but when Partey came off at halftime, it really affected Arsenal. Ceballos and Elneny in the middle weren't good. Aubameyang were not getting the ball. Lacazette barely had any chances. Pepe is poor. I saw Ziyech playing. I don't know how much did Chelsea buy Ziyech for.
About 27 mil.
There you
'Cause
go.
it was his release clause. It wasn't like a full.
I kept thinking about that for the last 2 years. Why hasn't anybody bought Ziyech? I don't know if I mentioned in
He
the
didn't.
chat.
He didn't want to leave. He said he didn't want to leave. Certain teams came in and he refused to leave because he was waiting for the right opportunity, the right project. So he said some teams came, but he didn't want to leave. Maybe Arsenal went and asked, but he said no.
No, but no. There's actually a video on Twitter with Ziyech talking about the only two or three teams he mentioned. Arsenal's in there, so I don't believe Arsenal. The people that are doing the scouting at Arsenal, they went and bought Pepe. They paid Pepe for 72 million. He said that the Peking is totally inconsistent. I don't think England is ever going to function in England. To cut a long story short, we have a bunch of pieces that don't fit together. We have a new coach. I'm going to give him time. I'm not going to write him off. I mean, he's new to the job, I think long term he's figured it out. I still think they need to add one player in a January transfer window or attacking player to help. But it's a problem not so much player related, but system related, and the manager himself is inexperienced. He needs to figure it out. That's all I would say. But Villa deserve their win. I mean, they really tore out to pieces. Rob Barkley was looking
you're willing to give the inexperienced guy a chance, but not the experienced guy that won, I think,
nah,
3 in a row.
No, man. That man could barely speak English. He was there. Good evening. Good evening. He could barely speak English. And you could tell when Arsenal plays, there was certain time from last year, from like October until he got fired in December, you saw the team play. The players, they didn't have any belief. They didn't believe in the manager. That team was going nowhere. I'm willing to give Arteta another year and a half. I mean, keep him there, let him learn on the job a little bit. We're not going to get relegated. And support the manager. We have a long-term plan, put it in place. But I admit he got some learning to do. I think he needs to figure out how to handle the middle teams and the smaller teams, because the team needs to play with freedom, and it's not happening.
All right. What's Arsenal fans deal with comparing their players with other players in the league that are good? Like what's the deal with that? Like, is it like a innate thing that you guys like thrive on or something?
No, this is what I say. For the price you pay for somebody, I mentioned it several times. Like the ZH thing, I was like, why isn't anybody going to buy this guy? Because I saw him play and I saw what he did 2 seasons ago when
No.
to semi-final.
Big Sal, I got that. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Arsenal fans in general. The reason why I'm saying that, your boy Robbie, Arsenal Fans TV, they sat on there trying to like justify the Williams signing and was like, "Oh, Williams a better player than Ziyech." I was like, "Huh?"
I'm talking about Bossman Robbie, man.
I was like, "Are you a dub?" I was like, "Are you kidding me? William better than Ziyech?" And then recently, last 2 weeks ago or so, I didn't even bother putting it in the chat. I was just like, this is just disrespectful. I'm not even gonna put it in the chat. But Arsenal fans are going crazy talking about Gabriel is a better player than Thiago Silva. I was like, you see craziness.
Well,
even as old as Thiago Silva is, and it's experience. You can't buy experience. You're going by experience versus raw physicality. You can't buy that.
It's too early to tell if Gabriel is a good player or not. One thing I will say is that football fans as a whole, when they get a new signing, they tend to judge that new signing over a period of 2 months. 2 months, 3 months. If the player is good, they're going to think that man is the best player in the world. Then 6 months, 8 months down the road when he start messing up
Start
the
cussing him.
player. Yeah, but
Start cussing.
he looks like a player with potential. I'm not going to say he, what I've seen so far, like Thiago Silva has been doing it for 10 years, so I can't compare. I can't compare them. It's a longer period of time.
Tell your people, man. Tell your people. All right, guys, let's move into the final section of this and go through these predictions pretty quickly.
Right.
Yes, sir. So we start with the first game of the weekend, and I this season is a season of payback. So
Are the games this weekend or next weekend coming?
It's next weekend.
Next weekend, sorry, not this weekend.
Okay.
Next weekend, we're still in international break. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Next weekend, but we would still. I mean, we'll still review them.
Okay.
So we you guys wanted to do it next week to keep it fresh in the people's minds.
No, we can go.
Okay. So Chelsea is going to play Newcastle. Just how we give Sheffield United their thing, and the players asking, I'm waiting to play Newcastle because they owe us too, and they need to take their thing. So that game, I'm going Chelsea 3-0. Gigs.
Chelsea 2-1.
Big Scout.
You know what? Newcastle is a different thing. Whenever they play Chelsea, they come to play. So I'll be cautious and go 2-1.
So who?
Normally to Chelsea, but
okay.
Newcastle will score.
All right. Next game is Brighton versus Aston Villa. At Brighton at Aston Villa. That game I'm gonna go Brighton 1, Aston Villa 2. Gigs.
Yeah, I'll give Villa a 2-1 win because they're coming off a high, 3-0.
Okay. Big Scott.
I think it's precisely because of that I'm going to go with a 1-1 scoreline for that game.
Okay. Next game is Crystal Palace at Burnley. Burnley being abysmal and disappointing.
Yeah, that's all Palace for me.
So I'll give Palace a 1-0 win.
I'll give them 2. Oh, my bad.
Big Scott.
Palace, man, they're so hard to predict. Palace will lose this game 1-0.
Oh, okay. Spicy.
Burnley, Burnley has been bad. I'll give Palace 2-0. 2-0.
Teams can get better. West Brom plays Spurs back. Everton versus Fulham. Everton at Fulham. Big Scout.
2-0 Everton.
Yeah, Gigs.
Yeah. I think they bounce back. Yeah, 2-1 for me. Going
2-0 in Everton's favor too. So this game might be better than we expected it to be initially. Leicester at Liverpool. I'm gonna go. I'll give you time to think because I heard Leicester at Liverpool. I'm gonna go.
Didn't they play already? No.
Leicester.
Leicester played
Man City.
Yeah,
Man City and beat Man City. And Liverpool does not have the defense, and Leicester got a fast attack. But Liverpool got a fast attack too. So this will be a good game, I believe. But I'm going to go on a limb here and say Leicester will win the game 2-1.
Okay.
Scout?
3-2 to Liverpool.
Oh, okay. And down at fair. Gigs?
I will go 2-2. If VAR doesn't interfere, I'll go 2-2.
All right, next game is West Brom at Manchester United. I will go Manchester United 2, West Brom 0. Gigs?
1-0 for me. Manchester United 1-0.
Scout?
3-0 United.
Okay. Southampton at Wolves, the next game. Wolves should bounce. Wolves should bounce back in this game. Southampton playing pretty good now, but Daniel's still out, and Wolves got a better defense. So I'll go with 2-1 to Wolves. Big Scout.
Yeah, I don't know what the Wolves manager is on right now. He's doing too much with his team. 1-1.
Okay, Gigs.
1-0 Southampton.
Oh,
they on a roll.
Yeah, you might be right.
Manchester City versus Tottenham. Okay, this one's a good one.
Yeah, spicy. Mourinho and Pep.
Mourinho versus Pep. I want to see how this will go, how this will turn out. But give me City to squeak out a 2-1 victory here. Big Scout.
I think Mourinho will go ultra defensive 2-1 to Tottenham.
Yeah, I'll go that way. 2-1 Tottenham.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
West Ham at Sheffield United. I'll go West Ham 2, Sheffield United 0. Gigs.
Um, I'll go with a draw. 0-0.
Well, 0-0. Okay. Big
Yeah.
Scott.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with West Ham 2-1.
Okay. And the last game of that week will be Arsenal versus versus Leeds. So let's pass it to Big Scott first.
I will go with 3-1 to Arsenal on this one. I think we'll bounce
Oh.
back. Yeah. I'm not only will we bounce back, we'll score more than one goal this time.
All right. Gigs.
Yeah. I don't trust Leeds. And no, I don't trust Arsenal. Don't think that. But they'll win 2-1. Arsenal win.
Yeah, that was my exact
2-1.
score line. That was my exact score line. Arsenal will win 2-1.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So this has been a very eventful episode. It was interesting.
Yeah.
The first part of it was good. It was interesting to get our different perspectives and see how things were going. Gigs, thanks for filling in for Al this week. You're welcome anytime to come on the pod and do
Yeah, I
future
know.
episodes.
Y'all know he's not busy, right? He just don't want to talk about Arsenal.
Don't worry, I will respond to you next week.
Big Scott, you got any parting words?
No, man, I haven't seen any international games this week. Maybe
Yeah,
I'll
me
catch one.
neither.
I'll catch one or two this weekend.
Me neither.
But I did see the scoreline from was it who beat France? That was surprising.
Finland.
Yeah, that was a good game to see. I might go and watch the highlights.
Hey,
All right,
Jerry,
guys.
can you get Drinko? Let's do your first love, Real Madrid. Can you do that? Can you get Drinko?
Drinko too busy, man. He's too busy for his own
schedules
good.
conflict. Well, we'll talk about the logistics in the chat room.
Yeah,
it's been a great one, guys. We're signing out. Thank you for hanging with us.
All right, fellas.